everyone, it's Melissa. Today's video is going to be an empties. I'm going to do a tiny bit of chit chat first. I think it's going to be tiny. I was going to have this video be about some mental health issues I had earlier in my life that I had talked about in my last video. But I'm actually going to change my mind and I'm not going to do a whole video about it. The reason is about that issue, I think I might be a little bit too fragile. So I kind of don't want to open myself up to that. I will say that I did have to go on medication, and I could tell the way the messages I was getting when I first talked about it last video, and the comments that there are people that don't believe in medication when it comes to mental health, that you should do other things instead, and that medication is overprescribed with mental issues. And that may be so. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. But I just didn't feel like, I felt like I was too fragile to defend my doctors and my position that, I needed to go on medication during that time. I did try everything else. I tried meditation, I tried therapy, I tried talking to myself, I tried yoga, I tried everything I could think of because I was ashamed to be on medication. I was very ashamed. And I think that I would probably end up being ashamed again if I discussed it too much. During that time, my Crohn's was there were just several issues going on. My Crohn's was out of control, and they had to do a very major surgery where it was 2 surgeries in one. They did a complete hysterectomy and took out feet of my intestines. 2 surgeons came in while they had me open and did that. When I got out, I had to go back. I developed abscesses. I had to go back in. Was very, very ill for a while in the hospital. My Crohn's was completely out of control. They found a heart issue where they tried to do, it was a rhythm issue, and they tried to do an ablation in my heart where they ran wires up, through they go inside your heart by running it up through your groin area, and tried to correct it, but they couldn't. So that was a fail. They found out that I had asthma during that time. So I was constantly during these few years, I was constantly being poked and prodded and given bad news and being hopeful and then feeling hopeless. And then my mother developed breast cancer that metastasized. So I was her caretaker while she died. So it was extremely challenging. I developed severe OCD where I would sit up all night long. Checking the front door, checking the stove, checking the plug-ins. I wasn't getting any sleep. I didn't want to leave the house. I did because I had to work and I had to take care of my children and stuff. And outwardly, I put on a good front. But I remember walking into CVS, walking through CVS and thinking, I'm not going to make it. I am in a black hole. I'm in a black hole, spinning toward it, and I will never be able to get out. Mental health is a whole nother hell all its own. And I would much rather physically hurt than emotionally or mentally hurt. It was hell. It was hell, and it's hard to talk about. I still feel embarrassment that I couldn't control it on my own. I finally realized I had gone to my gastroenterologist because, like I said, my Crohn's was out of control. And I remember he said people with severe disease, like you have severe Crohn's disease, their serotonin levels physically get down low. It just, the disease takes up so much that it makes the serotonin levels get too low, I guess. I mean, he explained it to me. And he said, that's what's happened to you. It's causing you to have this out of control OCD, this out of control depression, plus everything that you've been going through. And he sent me to a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, a psychiatrist who deals with physical, chemical disorders in your body. And they got me on the right track. And he said it was like somebody that didn't have enough insulin that was diabetic. They have to give you insulin to raise it. And so that helped me. I was very ashamed, but that helped me be less ashamed. These things can sometimes tend to run in families. But anyway, that's all. I did have to go on medication. I was very ashamed about it. In some ways, I'm still ashamed about it, and I shouldn't be. I can defend, I get on here and I talk about things, and I can defend most of them. Like, I use retin-A. Yeah, I use this. Yeah, I use that. I can defend it or laugh it off if I get criticism, but I can't defend that. I'm too fragile. So, but that will give you my background of what I went through. I guess my whole point that I was going to bring up, and I guess I am sort of doing part of a video about it, is unless you have lived in that person's body, you don't know what they're going through physically and emotionally. You just don't know, and they will do anything to feel better. Everybody is so different, and I do think mental health is not a black and white area. I think it's a gray area. Sometimes you have to try X, sometimes you have to try Y, sometimes you have to try Z, and sometimes you have to start back over again with A. Sometimes it takes therapy, sometimes it takes meditation, sometimes it takes hormones, sometimes it takes medication. It's just such a hard subject to talk about. And there's no one answer for everybody. It's a gray area. People are really having trouble now. I'm having trouble right now. But from my past experiences, it's okay. I'm in an okay place. I wasn't during my 40s, but I'm in an okay place now. And I was helped by medication, so. But it is just, there's not one size fits all for everybody when it comes to mental health. I think physical health is easier to treat because, you have, you have this. This is probably going to cure it. When you have mental, emotional issues, it may not. I mean, you have to kind of work with people and get some help to try to figure out what will help. And so, I don't know. I'm no expert on it whatsoever. I just know that it helped me. Oh, also during this time, my daughter moved to California after college, and my son moved out of the state to go to college. So, and I had a big fear of flying, so I couldn't go see my daughter. Doug had to take her out there to help her get set up in her apartment, and I knew I had to get over my fear of flying. So I did go through a treatment it's like a post-traumatic stress treatment where I will put the name of it because I'll put it right here, but I wasn't planning on talking about that, so I wasn't prepared. But it's where you work through issues and everything by doing the rapid eye movement. By following a professional that helps you move your eyes while you think about the situation. That helped me a whole lot too. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about all that. So anyway, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it in the last video because I really thought I could talk about it, but I could kind of tell the way from messages the way things were going to go. So I thought I better not. All right. So here is, because I do try to, be a positive, happy person. I really do. And so anyway, these are my favorites for this past month. And a couple of them more recent. Okay, so the first one is a podcast that I found. It's by a Southern lady. She lives in Tennessee, and she does a true crime because I like true crime. She does a true crime podcast called Southern Fried True Crime. So she tells about stories of different crimes that happen in the South. And she gives a background of the town. She tells about its history. She tells about its demographic. And then she tells the background of the family and the person, the victim and the perpetrator, and just goes into all kinds of detail and presents the crime. And it's just really, really good. I like to hear how the crimes were solved, and I like to hear I like to get her perspective. She is a Tennessean. I like to get her perspective on it and what she thinks about it. So she's very good. I think her name's Erica Kelly. I think that's what it is. But Southern Fried True Crime. The next one is a Netflix original series on the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. And it was very well done. It was upsetting. And I had to kind of look away and hide my eyes some. But he was just, so brutal. This case was interesting to me because of the detectives. They really delved into the lives of the detectives that just lived and breathed this case, trying to catch this guy, this criminal. It affected their families. It affected just so much about them. And, they got choked up talking about it. It was very touching. One of them, his wife said, I'm going to have to leave the house while this case is going on. You let me know when this case is over with. I'll move back in. I love you, but I can't live like this anymore for a while. And, it just really shows how it affected them personally. So it was really good. I enjoyed that. Well, not enjoyed it, but it was very gripping, very gripping. The next one is Acorn. It was called Injustice. I think it is several years old, and there's just one season of it, but it concludes. It starts with the crime and concludes. It's about a guy, I can't think of the actor's name. He's a handsome man with dark-headed, dark-eyed. He's an attorney, and he is a criminal defense attorney, and he defends this guy. Things happen with that. His best friend is accused of murder. He goes back into criminal defense work to defend him, but the first case sort of overlaps with it. It's just really good. I can't say too much because they'll give it away, but it's really good. Okay, one that we just started that someone recommended on Instagram, and it probably should go into next month's, but I wanted to mention it. It's called Bay. Oh, it's good. Just B-A-Y. It is about, it's about a woman. She's a detective, and these twins come up missing. Teenage twins come up missing, and one of them, I can't say too much, but one of the father of these victims, turns out she knows him. So that's all I'll say about that. And she has to do some finagling. It's good. We're still working on season 1, but I wanted to mention it right now because I saw that they just come out with the season 2, which I can't wait to see when we finish season 1. Bay, really good on BritBox. Okay, and my last thing that we enjoyed was called Lord Lucan, My Husband the Truth. It was on Amazon. Lord Lucan was a case back 40 years ago where he was in the aristocracy, and he supposedly came in and attacked his wife and then killed the nanny. Then he disappeared. Nobody ever heard from him anymore. He was gone. So his wife, after 40 years, she's an elderly lady now, she finally sits down and talks about the whole case and what her thoughts are and what she thinks happened and what her life was like. It's very sad, but very good. Especially those that maybe can remember that case. You'll want to see this, the Lord Lucan case that took place about 40 years ago. There's some more information about it, so you might want to see that one. Okay, now the things that I want to talk about. The first one, I know this sounds funny, but I want to talk about proactive. My oldest 2 granddaughters, and even the 2 granddaughters coming up underneath them, the 2 oldest ones are cousins, and then the 2 cousins coming up after them, they are starting to have acne problems. And so I started them, I tell you what, I don't take products from, or I don't do sponsored videos, or I don't do product, or don't accept products. I would almost accept products from Proactive because it's costing me a fortune to keep these girls in Proactive. It has helped their acne so much. They're both turning 14 this year, so they are really starting out, and it had gotten, their mothers had tried everything. I said, can I buy Proactive for them? Yes, okay, we're getting desperate because they didn't want to put them on medication, and the Proactive has just clear, it keeps them clear as a bell, and as soon as it starts running low, their skin will start breaking back out again. So Proactive, yeah, I'm almost tempted to say, I will talk about you all the time if you'll keep us in product, but no, I won't do that. But it is a good product. It really is. Okay, the next one is this candle. I heard about this from Lisa D1, and it is an expensive candle, unfortunately, but Doug and I both love it. So we burn it slowly. We've been getting them periodically for a while, but they're like, $30, something like that. It's a Rosemary Candle from Ergo. It's a soy candle, and it does last a bit, especially if you just burn it a little bit. And you can smell it in the room with it even being off, and you are left with a nice heavy tumbler glass when you're done. So we have several of the glasses that we're collecting. We clean it all out and then run it through the dishwasher, take the label off the bottom, and we got us a glass. But oh, this candle is just delicious. Oh, it's just, we do buy it when we can, and off of Amazon. We do buy it when we can, but we try to burn it very slowly, just a little bit, and let it get out in the air, and then blow it out. Put a lid over it to keep it all in there as much as we can. But it's wonderful. It's a wonderful candle. I love this candle. The next one I have talked about before, but I wanted to mention it again because I just love it so much. It is the Bumble Spray to Mode Hairspray, Flexible Hold Hairspray. That's the key to it, flexible hold. So like if I roll my hair on hot rollers or roll my hair on Velcro rollers, I will tease, like I will take a section and tease underneath first, and then do some spray to mode on it and let it kind of dry, and then roll it. And I will do it like all across my crown and kind of over here on the sides too, to get some height. And then when I've got my hair up in rollers, I will just kind of spray it all over like that. So it kind of holds and gives you what you've set. It kind of, gets some hold going. But it is so flexible that when you take your rollers down, you can just run your fingers just right through it. There's no tugging, anything like that. There's no tangling, there's no stiffness. You just run your fingers right through it and do your head back like you got a wind-blown machine going on with it, and it's just great. I love this because it holds pretty darn well without it seeming like it's holding. It really gives you a good start to a hairdo. It really does. I like this a whole lot. Spray to Mode, Bumble. I heard about this from Lisa D1 too. But it is great. This is just a great hairspray. Doug and I have started taking collagen every day, and I think that we can start to tell a difference. Doug, we kind of feel like maybe our joints are, a little more lubricated or something, a little more flexible, and maybe hurting a little less in the mornings when we move. My son-in-law, my daughter told me about it. They started taking it. But my son-in-law said the same thing, that he noticed that his joints feel so much better, and he was having some problems with his arms, and he was starting to feel better with it. And Doug's got a real bad wrist problem, so we're hoping it helps with it. I don't really notice anything with my hair or my fingernails. My fingernails I bite and pick at, so it's hard to tell if they're healthy or not because I just pick at them so much. My hair, I've been doing the derma rolling along with the naloxone, so, a lot of that might be from that. I don't know, but we are hopeful, and we get this from, it's the NeoCell. I don't know that it's really a good collagen to have, and I know that other people have certain types of collagen. This seems to be fine. My daughter, like I said, has used it for a long time. My son-in-law says he's really started to notice the difference with it. So we're trying it, but yeah, so far we think we're starting to feel better, you know, physically, joint wise with it. So we shall see. I'll keep you posted on that. But the Collagen Neo Cell, we get it at Walmart grocery pickup. The next one is downstairs, and I will have to show you a picture. It is the Bell and Howell Spin Power Charging Station. So it's a charging station, and you can turn it. I mean, you can't really spin it. I think you spin it to get the cord back up maybe inside. But you can turn it from the top, you know, to get it to turn around different ways. But it has several 4 outlets to plug in and 6 USB ports. So we have, you know, we've got computers, we've got phones, we've got iPads that we charge usually downstairs. Well, my phone I do at bed, but several things that we charge at one time, both of us downstairs, and including our computers, because it's got a plug in it too. It's got 4 plugs. So we will turn that thing on. I like it because you can turn the whole tower off or on. So you can turn it on like when you're there and kind of see into it, but turn it off when you're not there just for safety reasons. So I do like that function that you can turn it on and turn it off like that, the whole power system. But we have really enjoyed that. We just plug things in. It's all set right there together. You can kind of turn it around, and it just keeps the wires just really tidy. And you know, I really like it a whole lot. I like wires and stuff very, very tidy. I like it a lot. Now this I found out from Mary Ellen after 60, and we love this. Doug's got 2 and I have 2. Okay, they're retractable like that, but this is what you this is what you plug into like your port, and then these are 3 different plugs for 3 different sizes. You know how sometimes your cell phone will have a certain plug that it needs, and your iPad may have a certain plug that it needs, and your Fitbit may have a certain plug that it needs to charge with. A lot of times you come across equipment that needs different size chargers. Well, you've got it here all together. Here's your basic. You've got one this size. If that one doesn't work and the one below doesn't work, then take it off, and you've got a 3rd size right here. So it's just really cool. We love that and heard about it from Mary Ellen. So there's the 3. So there's the original, and then there's another size plug, and there's a 3rd size plug that you can put on that, one or the other. And it is retractable. So you can do it out that way or do it back up. I love this. And you get 2 of them in one package. So we ordered more just to keep all the time. We use these constantly because it's so handy. You don't have to find different plugs to go with different things. This is one of the best finds of the year, actually. Thank you, Mary Ellen. We really like these a lot. We have really used these. Okay, this is something that Doug wanted for his birthday. Well, he wanted weights too. I got him some weights. But he also wanted this that I got him for his birthday. And I know it seems silly, but it is so handy. It is a salt box. Doug's a cook. He likes to cook, and of course I cook too. But I would always take, you know, either pour out the salt, you know, from the big box, you know, that it comes in. I would either pour it out into a measuring spoon like that, and I would always, you know, over pour, and then I couldn't put it back in, or I would unscrew the little salt shaker and try to, you know, measure it out that way. But this, it's, you know, you got your salt in there, you just do your measuring spoon in there and measure out, no waste. We love this thing. We really do. It just measures salt out just perfectly. You wouldn't think. I don't know who it's by. I'll have to link it. I got it on Amazon, but it's cute. I just know it was made in Japan. So it is just really cute. We really like it a lot. It just sits there on our counter, and you know, we just measure all the time. It's really good. Okay, the last one is called, it's a little scale. It's called a Smart Way. I think it's actually a jewelry scale, But what Doug and I use it for is to, like if we have to cut pills in half, or like maybe we're medications being reduced during times when I would have to be on steroids for Crohn's and would kind of cut pieces off and stuff. And we use it a lot. Well, we use it all the time because Doug's on medication that he cuts into, and then we have pills for the dog that we cut into. So we use this to weigh the medication on, especially if we're having to cut like a piece off, just a small piece. You can see what your total is before you cut it off. And then you can cut off a piece and see if you've cut across the right amount to keep your medication very true and what the dosage should be. Like if you're supposed to take 3/4 of a pill, it's kind of hard to judge sometimes. You can weigh the total amount of what the pill is, and then if you need to cut some of it out, you can weigh it afterwards, and it's just little minuscule weights, you know, that you can weigh it with. But it has been so handy, and if you do jewelry, you can weigh jewelry too. But it has been so handy with medications, needing to cut medications and stuff. I think we need to even do the dog sometimes, cut his medication too. So it is very, very handy. We use it all the time to measure tiny, tiny things. So it is called the Weigh Smart. So that is everything. I really appreciate y'all watching. And I am sorry that I kind of am sorry I even mentioned anything about my struggles in my 40s, because I really thought I could do a whole video, but I just can't. It's just kind of a difficult subject for me. So, but anyway, take care. Love you all. Thank you for watching, and stay safe, and talk to you in a couple of days. Bye-bye.